What's up folks, Mike here at Well Watches. Welcome to the video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a classic little Casio wristwatch, the CA-58W, more commonly known as the Casio calculator wristwatch. Now, I was actually online shopping for a completely different Casio wristwatch, which I will be reviewing later on in the channel, but this one came up on the screen, and I fondly remember this watch as a child, and I also remembered that I never actually managed to get hold of one of those back in the day, but fortunately Casio did re-release the watch, and I was able to get hold of this little model, and I think it is super cool, and I thought I'd just share it with you guys here on the channel. So this is obviously a modern remake, but the original version was released back in 1984 when I was just a small little boy, but nonetheless I saw this and I thought it was absolutely amazing. You could actually consider it the first ever smartwatch of its time. Compared to today's smartwatches, it's not that smart, but it still has the cool factor. Now, many of you will know that this watch is popular in our culture and well known for certain types of films and TV series such as Breaking Bad or the Bang Theory. The Joker actually wore this during the bank heist scene in The Dark Knight. And for those of us in the UK who have fond memories of Mr. Bean, portrayed by Rowan Atkinson, he also wore this particular model. More commonly confused is that this watch was worn by Marty Mc Fly during Back to the Future, but that was actually a CA-50 model and not the CA-58W, although the two watches do look very similar. So it does have pop culture on its side. The actual size and dimensions and specifications of the watch we're going to go into. So the width of the watch is 34 millimeters, and from top to toe it's 43 millimeters. The strap has a 20 millimeter fitting, but the actual strap starts up here at 25 mil and works its way down to 90 mils at the bottom. Has a rubber keeper and a plastic resin buckle. The watch has a plastic main body shell, plastic glass, and a stainless steel caseback. Now, the watch actually comes pre-fitted with a battery, obviously, and the battery is supposed to last approximately 5 years. But if you wanted to change the battery up on this watch, then that's a simple procedure. You simply remove the 4 screws on the back, and you can replace the small lithium coin cell battery on the inside, which is a CA-50W battery. And once you've fitted the new battery, you'll know you'll be pretty good to go for at least 4 or 5 years. Some of the features of the watch, it does actually state that it's water resistant, and that does mean that you can only get it a splash wet. It doesn't mean that you should submerge the watch or use it in a bath or shower, but a splash, it'll probably survive. It does have the time and date, as you would expect, and it has the calculator as well. It has a stopwatch, a daily alarm, an hourly chime, and dual time zones as well. The calendar should be fairly automatic up to the year 2099 if you're fortunate enough to live that long. So let's go through the actual mode settings on the watch, and we can see we have the time screen where you can also select the date. Then you have the calculator. We'll give it a try even with my fat fingers. So we'll do 9 times 2 equals 18. So it is possible to use the calculator with your bare hands, but it is rather tricky. So moving past the calculator, we have the alarm or the hourly chime. We have the dual time zones for those that like to travel and keep track of the home time as well. And the stopwatch, which is also controlled by the calculator buttons on the front. Now, there are a couple of other colorways of this watch. I've seen this in green of all colors and also a negative display version, but I thought it's actually best to have the original version because that's the one that I remember. Now, comparing this to other watches, obviously you can compare this to other Casios such as G-Shocks, but then obviously a G-Shock is a much bigger, bulkier watch. So I thought I would show something slightly more in keeping, and that would be the Timex T80 watch that I have here. Now, this is the Timex T80, another retro watch. This is the Pac-Man edition, and I bought this one way back because of the Pac-Man theme. Again, another thing from my childhood that I fondly remember, playing games of Pac-Man. This watch is very similar in size. It's slightly heavier because obviously it's made of metal, and it's also slightly thicker. But if you have one of these style of watches, then one of these will be perfectly fine for you on the wrist. They're about of equal size and shape. So if you're looking for something interesting, something new, something that you don't have, and you're of a certain age, I can highly recommend getting the Casio CA-58W. It is a cool little watch, and it does have good pop culture following for this watch. The Casio do other value watches, and they did actually do other calculator watches long after this one, and I might get some of those here on the channel to take a look at those as well. But for the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave any information that I know about this watch in the description down below, so check that out if you need to. But until the next time, take care and have fun.